you. Although we do not have a commensal relationship, we are all a community of the Knopf-Daniel method practitioners as you graduate. We all have our own story of what brought us to this life-changing method. Most of you don't know how I arrived here. I came to the Knopf-Daniel method because my life's dream was to be a dancer who was also pain-free, and that dream was in jeopardy. I was in constant, excruciating pain in my back and hip. I had been diagnosed with scoliosis soon after birth. I had a 2-inch difference in my hip height. I was told by an orthopedic surgeon I needed surgery and a back brace. Before I knew about this method, I tried some methods, some things to help me. I did acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, Alexander technique. While all these provided short-term relief, none of them provided the long-term relief I desperately sought. I was also told by an orthopedic surgeon, another orthopedic surgeon, that I would need to quit dancing, or in his words, I would become crippled for the rest of my life. During my Knopf-Daniel method training, I became pain-free. I was also able to avoid surgery and a brace. I also felt empowered because if I felt pain, I knew I didn't have to have that tremendous fear anymore of the pain. I knew I could lie down or sit down and do some Knopf-Daniel method movements and feel again pain-free and know it would last. Not only did I avoid the surgery and the back brace, I also was able to realize my dream of dancing in professional ballet companies. My hip height leveled out, so it's barely noticeable, the difference, and I co-founded a lyrical modern dance company and danced with it and choreographed with it. Before I began my training, I had a Pilates studio. I had clients that would come in, and as I was doing my training, I would say to them at the end of their appointment, the last 10 minutes, you want to try a little bit of this hands-on work, part of the Knopf-Daniel method? Just the last 10 minutes, they would say, okay. The next time they came in, they would say, well, you did at the end. I want us to do that the entire time from now on. That's how my private Pilates practice became a full-time Knopf-Daniel method practice. I work with adults who have chronic pain like I did, as well as high performers, meaning dancers, actors, athletes, musicians, leaders. I also work with special needs babies and children. I love watching children learn, and adults learn too. I love watching the vitality in the learning, what we call when the learning switch turns on. Like the 1.5-year-old I've been working with. The first time he'd ever experienced this method, he came. On the 3rd day, he did something he had never done before. This baby could not use his right arm. He had had PT, physical therapy, and OT, occupational therapy, twice a week for his 1.5 years of all his life. And they would stretch the arm, but he would never use the arm of his own volition. On the 3rd day of him receiving this work, for the first time in his life, he opened his hand, picked up food, and brought it to his mouth. The parent was crying. The physical therapist happened to be at our appointment, and she was crying. That child is doing things in the last 9 months of working with him the family never even dreamed possible. The trajectory of his life is on a different path because of the Knopf-Daniel method. In a very personal way, it recently changed the trajectory of my family's life. 2 weeks before this graduation, my mom had a stroke. She was unable to walk, to recall words, my name, to write. She was told by the doctor and by my brother and I that she would need 24-hour ongoing care for the rest of her life. I arrived within 24 hours after the stroke at the hospital. She is an Knopf-Daniel method practitioner. I worked with her twice a day for 8 days. She was learning at this incredible rate. It was like she had done all this learning, and basically what I was doing was reminding her of everything she knew. 10 days later, she was released from the hospital. She is able to walk again, speak normally, write, and she is on her own again in her own home. And just a week ago, she was given the okay to drive. I feel so much passion and joy for this work. How studying it, learning it, teaching it provides for me a way to personally evolve and learn, as well as to be of service to others, to help them function and feel better and become more their deepest, truest selves. I am grateful for our teachers, for Marcy Lindheimer, for her dedication, for Anat Ben-Yael, for her courage and all-encompassing vision to have an Anat Ben-Yael method and to have it be a continually evolving method. Anat Ben-Yael method feels to me like it's alive, like it's a living, breathing, evolving way of being. It is a dream come true for me that this method exists, and I am a part of it with all of you. Master of Ceremonies,